Welcome back to We're Having Fun. I'm Mark. Hi.
Hi, I'm Krista.
What's up this week, Krista?
I don't know.
Okay. Did you have some news? Did we talk about something earlier? You were looking through a bunch of news items.
I don't think so.
Okay. Screw it. It's Easter week.
Yep.
We're getting our ducks in a row.
Mm-hmm.
This week, we're keeping the M theme going. Last week, we did missed episode.
Yes.
Because my parents were in town, so I spent some time with them. It was very nice. Happy to see them. So, no recordo.
Yep.
And you had to work also, so, you know.
Yeah, I did have to work, so.
It all worked out.
Yeah, we'll be missing the last week in April also.
We'll be missing the last week in April.
Because I will be working that weekend.
Oh, yeah, the 24 hours.
Uh-huh. I'll be doing 2 overnight shifts.
Oof. Oh, you're doing 2?
Yep.
And you want to do the 5K?
Uh-huh.
You're dumb.
I'm gonna be regretting it. I know.
You're not. You'll be alright. You'll make it.
Yeah, it shouldn't be too bad.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
I already told my mom, because she's doing the 5K too. I was like, I'm going to be working the night before, so I'm probably going to have to run it just to keep myself awake.
Yeah, me and her will just be chilling.
Yeah.
We'll just walk around.
Yeah, you guys walk together.
I wonder if Chris is asleep yet.
Yeah, you'll walk by, you'll just see me on the sidewalk or somewhere just snoozing.
Grab her legs.
Come on, let's go.
Let's get her. Glad we brought the wheelbarrow.
Oh, goodness.
All right.
So, yeah.
Well, then let's get into our movie then.
Okay.
So, last movie, M theme, is that Easter classic.
Oh, yes.
Mrs. Doubtfire. Man, seen this movie a couple times at least. I really like this movie.
Yeah, I've seen it several times.
Still very funny.
Some of it has not aged well.
Yeah. That is definitely true.
But I guess that's the case anytime that you put a guy in drag.
Yeah, in the 90s. Yeah. It was a rough time. I don't remember if I saw this in the theater or if it was, because it was PG-13.
Yeah.
And it came out in 94?
93.
93?
It's the same year as Jurassic Park.
Yeah. I wasn't yet 13, so I'd have had to have my parents there. They might have taken me though.
Yeah.
We love Robin Williams.
Yeah.
And Sally Field.
Right?
It's a family classic movie.
True.
Yeah, it was the second highest grossing behind Jurassic Park that year.
Makes sense.
It's crazy. Do you remember where you first saw it?
Nope. Probably went to see it in the theater.
You think so? Yeah. Man, getting that big lady on the big screen. Only way to do it.
Big lady on the big screen.
She could be a linebacker.
Yeah.
She wasn't even that much bigger than Sally Field.
No.
When he's in the...
No.
Yeah. I guess he's kind of beefy. Anyway.
Yeah. But I mean, also, Sally Field is probably...
Yeah, she's a little lady.
Yeah. She's just a little lady.
She's a little lady. She was the flying nun.
Yep.
Yeah. Love Robin Williams. I'm a big fan.
Definitely.
I would see all his movies, even if they weren't always good sometimes. And didn't see all his movies, but still. Didn't see Toys.
Yeah.
I never saw Ferngully. No, I saw Ferngully. I surely did.
Well, don't worry. If you didn't see it,
I'm sure we'll watch it.
We will be watching it. It is on the list.
Yeah.
That movie I watched a lot.
Yeah.
But the main character's name is Krista.
Oh, well, there you
So
go.
it was kind of hard not to like it, because she's a fairy named Krista.
Yeah.
How could I not
Just
like
like you.
Exactly.
A fairy named Krista. Yep. I mean, but I saw Father's Day. Not great.
Oh, I did not see that.
Saw Death of Smoochie. Not great.
I've seen it.
Well, people might get mad about that. People like it.
Really?
I don't know. I wasn't a fan. And, yeah.
What is it, Millennium Man? Is that?
Well, Bicentennial
Man.
Yeah.
What is it called? I knew that wasn't right.
He's
but
a
I couldn't
millennial.
think of it.
What a millennial.
I couldn't think of the name of it.
Y'all got your iPads. I don't know. What do millennials say? Yeah.
But yeah, I couldn't think of the name of it. I just remember it has the one joke about the how do you make a hanky dance?
Oh yeah, put a little boogie
in it.
Yeah. So yeah, this movie, quality. Matthew Lawrence fan, huge fan. Lawrence Brothers.
Sure.
Did you watch their TV show?
No.
What was it called? Brotherly
Love. Mm-hmm.
It was not bad. I mean, it was probably terrible.
I've probably seen parts of it, but it wasn't something I watched like all the time.
Yeah. When it came out, though, I was in there.
I feel like they have like a podcast or something now.
Probably.
Maybe it's called the Brotherly Love Podcast.
Probably. I wouldn't be surprised. Lawrence triplets.
Triplets? Yes. They're all the same age, definitely. There's not like a decade apart between the...
No, not at all.
The oldest and youngest. I don't know if it's a decade.
Yeah. I say that and everybody's like, whoa. I don't know. They're surprised.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, well.
Oh, and also, of course, he was the genie in Aladdin.
He was.
You can't forget that.
Yeah. We got young Matilda's debut on screen.
This was her first
Your favorite
movie?
actress. Okay. Yeah.
Mara Wilson.
Yeah. Who you don't like for some reason.
It's the lisp, man. It just...
Wow.
I'm sorry.
Wow. Sorry if you have a lisp out there.
She does a lot of mouth acting in this, though.
She does. Very Hermione, we were saying.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I guess she's cute. Whatever.
She's adorable. And she seems like a nice person now, too.
Yeah, I like her now.
Yeah.
She does a lot of voice work.
Now that she ain't lisping.
now that she's older and not an annoying little kid.
Wow. All right, let's talk about this movie.
Okay.
Mrs. Doubtfire. Open on
Pudgy the Parrot.
Pudgy the Parrot. And Robin Williams doing the voice of Pudgy the Parrot in real time.
Yes.
Well, it's already animated.
Yes. I was like, that's not how this is done.
Yeah. I guess maybe it was like already, maybe it's like a foreign film and they're dubbing it or
maybe,
something.
or maybe it's just, maybe they had like a lot of it already done and there was this one scene that they didn't have.
Maybe. They were like, oh, this is terrible. We hate what you did.
Yeah, maybe it was really bad the first time and he had to ADR it or something. I don't know.
Yeah, so.
But yeah, he's doing the voices of not only Pudgy the Parrot, but also the cat that I don't know the name of.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I don't know.
They released that whole thing as,
did they?
like, yeah, should have watched it, I guess, beforehand. And he does the voice of the grandma that's sitting there in the chair. So, did it all.
So this supposed to be like a Tweety and Sylvester thing and Granny and everything? Okay.
I think Chuck Jones, the guy who did a lot of Looney Tunes stuff, he'd do it. He drew it and everything.
Okay.
And he's going, man.
Oh, yeah.
He is going full Robin Williams.
Oh, yeah. He's going back and forth between voices, you know.
Yeah.
Switching real quick.
Yeah.
No problems.
He's good. But the problem comes when Pudgy's been captured. He's about to be cooked alive.
Yep.
So for his last wish, I guess, he gets a cigarette. The cat gives him a cigarette.
Yes.
To smoke. And that bird is loving that cigarette
he is
in the cartoon.
on it like crazy.
That is so weird. Like,
yeah.
They even like in Looney Tunes when they would still put in cigarettes and stuff. They didn't enjoy them that much.
Yeah.
He was so into it. Yeah, but Robin Williams has a problem with that.
Yes, and good for him, you know. So he starts doing Pudgy's voice like he's coughing.
Poison.
Yeah.
Being poisoned.
Yep, and they're like, okay, stop, cut, whatever.
Yeah.
And they're like, you've ruined the take. We're going to have to do it. And it's like, no.
It's costing us $1,000.
It's like, all you have to do is cut the audio for that part. Because the bird is not actually saying anything during this
Well, I think he was saying
section.
Something.
It didn't look like it, but...
I don't know.
It looked like he was just enjoying that cigarette.
Between puffs, I thought he like kind of, did the thing where he knocked the ash off.
Maybe.
I think he said something.
But I mean, it's not that big of a deal.
The guy yelling at him, the voice of Launchpad McQuack.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Okay. There you go. Royalty right there.
Okay, cool.
You know what I was thinking of?
What?
Tailspin was weird, right? Like the cartoon Tailspin?
Yes.
It was just all the Jungle Book characters as humans. So it's that world where there were humans, but now they've taken over the human roles.
Yeah.
So did they get fire and they killed everybody and now they took over?
I don't know.
And everybody's real happy about it. Even Baloo seems complicit in this behavior. Anyway, I was just thinking about that. I didn't sleep last night.
Is Launchpad McQuack in that?
No, but...
I was like, I didn't think you
had that block of Darkwing Duck, DuckTales, Tailspin, and...
Goof Troop.
Goof Troop. Goof Troop. Anyway.
Oh, Yeah.
Robin Williams is fired.
Yeah, he's fired.
All that to say.
Yeah,
Robin Williams is fired.
All the other people in there are smoking also.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there are 4...
The engineers and everything.
There are 4 people in there, and Robin Williams, and he's the only one not smoking.
Yeah. Like, that's a biased audience.
Exactly.
Not fair. Yeah.
So, yeah, he doesn't get fired, he quits.
He does. He quits. Yeah.
And he walks out.
Yeah. A memorable Porky Pig.
Mm-hmm.
Piss off, Lou.
Yeah.
Still remember that one.
Yep.
And that's it.
He goes to pick up his kids.
Yep.
They're...
His sweet station wagon.
Yep. They're leaving school, so he goes to pick them up. It is his son's birthday, his 12th birthday. So, of course, his wife is working late or whatever. So it's like, it's time to party.
Yeah.
So
Mom's had no parties.
Yep.
Because his grades are terrible.
Oh, yeah. So they go home. He has a whole petting zoo, basically.
Yeah, man.
A mobile petting zoo.
Yeah. I feel like I was more on Robin's side back then.
Oh, yeah. But now it's like, no.
No, dude, he's being terrible about this. How do you have a birthday? Because they're like, Mom won't be home for 4 hours. It's their mother. I am your mother. Sorry.
Yeah, you're just not going to have the mom there.
Seriously.
And also, you think that she's not going to find out about it?
Yeah.
Especially with nosy neighbor over here.
And the police being called.
Because, yeah.
Yeah, dude, like, what are you doing, man?
Yeah, he's irresponsible.
Like, I get their divorce now.
Yeah.
As a kid, I was like, this is so sad. It's Robin Williams.
Why would you divorce
He's so funny. But no.
Yeah.
They did not work together.
Yeah.
Surprised they made it this long, honestly.
Yeah, right?
But hey, that's how it goes sometimes.
So yeah, he has the party. The next door neighbor is annoyed because there's a rabbit that just keeps like trying to get into her garden.
Yeah.
She goes inside. She calls the mom, Miranda.
Yeah.
And
reads her Miranda rights.
Yeah. Miranda is at work, of course. She works for like a design company or whatever.
Some kind of designer.
Interior design kind of thing. And she gets... Well, somebody comes in and is like, I need to talk to you because they've been talking to someone, Stuart Dunmeyer.
Their boss, right?
Yeah, I guess it's
Martin
their boss.
Mull?
Yeah. And Stuart Dunmeyer called. He's just bought this house in Nob Hill and he wants to make it into a $500 per night B&B.
Oh, boy.
And wants her to help like decorate it and everything.
Yeah.
And she's just kind of like flabbergasted.
Yeah.
Also, it's like, you can tell there's something going on that's like she kind of likes him already.
She has a history with him.
Yeah, because they went to college together.
Yeah.
Which you don't really find out much about, but they do mention it at some point.
Yeah.
But then she also gets the call from the neighbor. And so she heads home.
Yeah. And that neighbor was supposed to have a bigger role. They filmed a lot of scenes with her, but they had to cut it, most of it out, except for what we saw. Like, she was, Miss Doubtfire, like, poisoned her garden and stuff.
Oh my God.
And they had, it was like a big revenge thing.
Oh my gosh. Who was it? Polly Holiday? Was that who it was?
Sounds right.
Okay.
Billie Holiday, actually.
No.
Okay.
I can tell you for a fact it was not Billie Holiday.
My funny Valentine.
Anyway, so she gets home. The police are there. All the animals are just running amok.
Yeah, being the worst.
Yep. And
Robin Williams is dancing on the table.
Yes.
What are you doing, man? Scuffing that table up.
Right? I don't know.
He's being the worst.
He is really being the worst.
Yeah.
And she brings a cake for the kid. It's like a soccer cake.
Yeah. So she was going to do something for him.
Right. And then a pony eats it. It's like, come on.
Yep.
There are kids just jumping on the couches.
Oh my gosh. I was like, oh.
It's so annoying.
Yeah.
Music is so loud that's why the cops are there. First of all, they're always complaining. Also, they have just animals.
Yeah. You can't be having it in a residential area.
Barnyard animals.
Yeah.
Residential area.
So they're in San Francisco, by the way.
Yes. And so she's like, party's over. Get out. Everybody out.
Pretty much. Party's over.
And so they fight.
Yeah.
Knock down, drag out, fight.
They're dog fighting.
Exactly.
Dog fighting.
No, they're just yelling at each other.
Yeah.
A lot of yelling. And the kids are like right there at the top of the stairs listening to it all.
Yeah.
It's like, this is bad. Get them out of the way. Great. Don't be yelling at each other like this in front of your kids.
Good to have these fights in front of the children.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, he used to be cool before you got with all those rich people.
Yeah.
She's like, used to be cool till you stop being so cool.
Stop being so cool.
I don't remember.
Till you know.
She's like, I hate. Why don't you ever talk to me?
Why don't you have a job? Why can't you keep a job and all this stuff?
You gotta check with me first.
Yeah.
You always gotta one-up me. And then I gotta clean up.
Exactly. And so she's like, I want a divorce. Mm-hmm. And he's like, no, baby, no.
No, we can work through this.
And she's like, no, we can't.
Yeah, no, this is it, bro.
So he gets kicked out, basically. Mm-hmm. He goes to stay with his brother.
Yeah.
Harvey Firestein.
One of the best parts of the movie.
Yeah. So this is Frank. Mm-hmm. And Frank lives with his boyfriend. Mm-hmm. I'm assuming boyfriend, because
it seems, I mean,
in the 90s, they wouldn't have been able to marry.
Yeah.
So
Uncle Frank.
Yep, Uncle Frank and Aunt Jack. They're very cute.
They're fun, yeah.
They do like makeup and stuff for I guess for films, maybe.
Yeah, it seems that way.
So he's on the phone, of course. Harvey Firestein on the phone with Ma, and their mother is like, he should come stay with me. Yeah, he's like, no. And he's like, he'll think about it. Oh man, but he does not. Yeah. He stays with Frank until he can find a new place to stay. Mm-hmm. So then we go to court, and he can have visitation on Saturdays.
Yeah, he's got to get a place to live and a job.
Mm-hmm. And he's going to have a court liaison coming around to make sure that he's, doing that. Yeah. Basically. And they're going to
read in very often, twice a week. Jeez.
Yeah, it was like Mondays and Fridays.
Yeah, like what's going to change between those 5 days? It's not like he's like violent or something. Yeah. He just needs to get a house and a job.
Yeah. And then they'll reconvene in 90 days.
Yeah.
You can tell that you can tell that he really does love his kids, Yeah. And he's he wants to try and everything.
And his lawyer's like, hey, we did good or something like that.
Yeah, and he's like not really.
I really hate you.
Yeah. He immediately goes out, finds a job.
Yep.
There's a local TV station or studio.
Well, I think
whatever.
his liaison sets him up with like a job.
Yeah. Because he meets with her.
Yeah.
Because she's like, what do you do? And he's like, I do voices.
Yeah. So we get to see a little montage of voices.
Yes. So he's like pulling out his Ronald Reagan,
It's good Reagan.
What else? Groucho Marx.
Yeah. Chico.
And
Harpo.
And Harpo. It's just he doesn't say anything. Because it's Harpo. A bunch of different ones. Mm-hmm. And
some better than others.
Yeah. And so she gives him a lead, I guess, a job lead.
Mm-hmm. But she does not find any of it funny.
No.
Yeah.
No, because she's like, do you think you're funny? He's like, well, I did until today.
Yeah. So thank you for that.
His job there is he's going to be boxing and shipping film canisters.
Yeah.
That's basically it.
Fun.
Yep. He's like, you box them up, you ship them out. You box them up, you ship them out. I was like, okay, I can do that, I guess.
It would kind of be fun, though. For a little bit.
You'd get to look and see what, yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
You'd be like, ooh, this
Eventually,
is interesting.
it would
and you'd be like, okay, I hate this, yeah.
Yeah. And his boss sucks.
Yeah.
There's a lot of mean people in this.
There is, yeah.
Like, man, the 90s were mean.
The 90s were like real mean.
Why is everybody so mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
So, back with Miranda at her job, Stu shows up.
Yeah.
They have a meeting.
Oh, Pierce.
So that she can show him, like, what ideas she has for the B&B. And he does not really seem to care about what her ideas are. He just cares about, like, trying to get into her pants, basically.
Yeah.
And she's like, look, I'm going through a divorce right now. Can we, like, chill?
It's like, I'm gonna go to dinner.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's Pierce Brosnan before he was Bond. But after Remington Steele, he wasn't getting much work. So kind of, and then the Christopher Columbus, who directed this movie, he kind of recommended him because Pierce was supposed to be Bond, but then he was like, I'm in Remington Steele, I can't. They won't let him. And then they were looking for another one. Christopher Columbus recommended him. So yeah.
So basically, Mrs. Doubtfire got him the job of James Bond.
I think so. Yep. Could tell.
GoldenEye.
Yeah.
Was that the first one he was in?
Yes. Okay. Yes.
Okay.
I believe so.
I've never watched. I don't think I've ever
watched. You haven't watched GoldenEye?
I don't think I've ever watched a whole James Bond movie all the way through. I've seen I've seen most of Casino Royale. Actually, I may have seen all of it.
Skyfall.
I have not seen Skyfall.
Oh, I was just singing it.
Okay. Oh, and also I remember Casino Royale because my mom and my grandma and I were in Montgomery, Alabama. They have a Shakespeare festival down there, and they had we went down there to see a play. It wasn't a Shakespeare play, though, surprisingly. It was Beauty and the Beast, the musical.
Okay.
Weird. We used to go, my mom and I used to go see Shakespeare plays down there, though.
Bethel, guess this, Bethel, guess this.
Stop it.
Beauty and the Beast Shakespeare.
But anyway, as we were driving by a mall there, my grandmother was like, oh, look, they have a casino in that mall. And we're like, no, that's the movie theater. It's a movie called Casino Royale. That's what I think of when I think of Casino Royale. Is my grandmother, my grandmother doing the little, they have a casino in that mall. It's like, no. She was excited about it, though. Yeah. We had to let her down, you know.
Oh.
Anyway, Pierce Brosnan. He was hot in this.
Sure, I guess.
Yeah.
He was Pierce Brosnan.
Exactly. We go to Daniel's new apartment. That's Robin Williams' character name, because we haven't really called him anything other than Robin Williams. But yeah, Daniel has his new apartment. It is a mess.
Yeah. I mean,
he just moved in. Exactly.
Yeah. My apartment's still a mess from moving in.
We are currently in my apartment. It is a mess. I moved in 2017. So yeah, I still have boxes that are unpacked. Because I'm like, what's the point?
Yeah.
At this right now, it's gone so long.
Yeah.
Might as well just keep them
now
packed.
Now they're just storage units.
Exactly. Oh, jeez.
In-home storage units.
Yep. So, he's at the new apartment. The kids are there with him because it's a Saturday. Yeah. They're eating dinner.
They're depressed.
Yeah, he's saying some choice things about the mom.
Yeah.
That
being a little bitter.
Probably should not be saying in front of the children, of course.
Especially the 5-year-old there.
Yeah.
You hate to see it.
Of course, the Miranda shows up early and honks the car horn.
Yeah.
Dropped him off late.
An
hour late, and is picking him up an hour early.
Yeah.
And she's like, but I have to go to the grocery store and to the bank and all this stuff. I'm like, where are you going to the bank at 8 o'clock at night?
Yeah, nighttime. Like,
the bank is closed.
Amazing bank you have. Maybe she's just going to use the
ATM or something.
Night drop or something. Yeah.
I'm like, the bank is closed, dear. I'm sorry. Sorry to inform you. And also, why couldn't you have gone to get groceries before you picked up your kids?
I mean, maybe it wasn't on the way or whatever.
Maybe. But I mean,
San Fran, big city.
Yeah. So, yeah, he's not happy about that. And she comes in and just doesn't knock or anything. Just burst open the door. Yeah, burst through the door.
Yeah, it's pretty rude.
Yeah. And
this was a lot more bitter divorce than I remember.
Yeah.
I remember them being sad and not not wanting to be around each other as much, but I didn't remember just the pettiness of them both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she also is going to the newspaper.
Yeah.
Because she's putting an ad in the newspaper for a housekeeper.
Yeah.
And
was she paying $300 a week or a month?
A week.
Okay.
Yeah, $300 a week.
That's not bad.
Yeah, because he's like, wow, that's a lot,
I could use that.
Exactly. And he's like, but why can't I take the kids after school? She's like, no.
Yeah.
You can't do it.
Yeah. And honestly, there's a court order. You can't do that.
Exactly.
Unless you want to be in contempt.
There you go. So she's looking for a housekeeper. And
he's like, I got this.
Yes.
Changes up the numbers.
Yeah, he changes the phone number on the ad.
Yeah.
And she takes the kids.
Poor person just getting a bunch of calls for housekeepers.
Yeah, exactly. So she takes the kids home and everything. And then he starts calling about the ad using different voices.
He is using different voices, but
it still sounds like him.
It's very Robin Williams sounding.
And also, if she's been married to him for 14 years or however long
he's done those voices.
He's done those voices. She
times.
would recognize those voices.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, come on.
It's
it's his Russian
again,
voice,
or whatever his name is.
Yeah, exactly. So she would recognize these.
Yeah. This is his southern character.
Yeah.
Here we go. Robin, get off the phone.
Exactly. But yeah, he keeps calling.
This is harassment.
He keeps calling for several different times. And then finally he calls and
as Miss Doubtfire.
As Mrs. Doubtfire. And of course, he's like, I worked as a nanny for 15 years with the Smythe family.
Not Smith, dear.
The Smythe And she's like, listen, she's like, this is great. This sounds perfect.
I love you.
Please marry me.
You would not believe who called me before.
Exactly. I had somebody who was like talking about their kids being in a cage. I mean, come on, this is perfect. So she was like, hey, do you mind coming by at 7:30 tomorrow or whatever for an interview? And she's like, what's your name? And she's like, oh, I thought I already gave you my name. No, I don't think you did. So he looks at the newspaper.
Yeah.
And it's like, police Doubtfire. It was accident. And he's like, Mrs. Doubtfire. So that's how Mrs. Doubtfire gets her name.
Yeah.
And so now that he has a character, basically, he's got to get a new face.
Gotta look the part.
Exactly. So he goes to Frank.
Yeah.
And he says, can you make me a woman?
Like, oh, my dreams have been answered.
Yep. He's like, finally! I've been waiting for years. So then we have another nice little montage.
Very fun scene, yeah.
Where first...
different things.
First, he's like...
kind of a Latin older lady.
Yeah, with like really long fingernails and everything.
Short, dark hair.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, but first of all, you've already done the Mrs. Doubtfire voice. It does not fit with his character. You're doing a completely different voice with this.
He can't help it. Once it gets on him, the character overtakes him. He can't say who he is,
So they're like, okay, this is not what we need. We need to go older.
Yeah.
And so they do the next one, and it's like a Jewish grandmother, basically. And then
they sing Matchmaker.
Yes.
That was great.
Yep. And so that one's not going to work.
Yeah.
So then they do like a Barbara Streisand kind of thing. So start singing Don't Rain on My Parade.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
We, of course, sang along to both of these things.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And then finally...
yeah. He's going full prosthetics.
Yes.
He's doing it all.
Yep. So they're like, all right, here we go. And they have it.
Yep.
It's perfect.
Yep. And they start dancing.
Yep.
And I think does he show up at the place next?
Yep, he shows up for his interview, and he gets to meet Miranda, of course, but also gets to meet the kids.
Yeah.
We haven't said the kids' names.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't until this point of the movie that I wrote down their names. And knew their names.
Same.
So we have Lydia, who is the oldest. And then we have Chris, who is the middle and the boy.
The boy, yeah.
And then we have Natty, who is the youngest.
Your favorite.
Yes. Honestly, of those three, she probably is my favorite.
Yeah. Yeah. The older two are they're emo. They're taking it hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Natty's just she's there.
Yeah.
She's like...
She's kind of innocently dealing with it all.
So she gets to meet the kids, of course. And then has tea with Miranda.
Yeah. She kind of knows where everything is.
Yeah. And she's like, oh, but it's because the kitchen is so well organized.
Not so well.
It's like, okay. No. Yeah. And then Miranda's like, you remind me of someone. Can't remember who, though.
She's like, oh, whatever.
Yeah. So he gets the job, or Mrs. Doubtfire gets the job. Then
takes the bus home.
Yes.
Creepy bus driver hitting on her.
Yes. The bus driver is definitely interested.
Yeah.
And gets home, and the court liaison is there for the appointment. Because I guess it is Monday.
Is it? Yeah.
And he doesn't want her to come up, but... yeah. She has to, because she's got to check out the apartment and everything. She
says she's Danny's sister from England.
Yes,
which
older
she has
sister.
a different accent. It's like, okay.
Yeah, so they go up to the apartment, and he, of course, has to pretend to be both people.
Yep, keeps switching in and out with the costume.
I thought that he switched out more during this part, but he doesn't. It's only like a couple of times.
Yeah, he switches to Danny, and then Danny's like, oh, she's a terrible housekeeper, but she makes a great cup of English tea.
Yeah, and also says, she's my half-sister, actually. Yeah. My dad was in the war and met her mom in England, and that's where she came from, and then later met my mom and all this stuff. So that's why she has the English accent. It
works. Yeah.
Sure, why not? Close enough. So
then she hears that English tea, she's like, oh man.
Yeah.
I would love a cup of tea.
Yeah, so he's like, great!
Oh, go get her.
Yep. So has to go change. And when he is changing back into his like suit and everything and getting ready to put the face on, there are these two boys across the way and they're staring at him through the window.
Yeah.
And
laughing at him.
Yeah, and so he's trying to pull the blinds down, and when he does, it hits.
Why did you put
the mask right there?
On the windowsill.
Yeah, exactly. So it hits it. It falls into the street.
Yep.
So he's like, "Oh great, I don't have a face anymore." So he has to sneak into the kitchen.
Yep. Well, he was trying to sneak out, and then he stepped on a board and it creaked. So he's like, "Oh crap!
Crap! I gotta go."
Ran into the kitchen.
So he has to make the tea. And
he's got to find sugar.
Yeah.
And he's looking for a face.
Yeah. And also he looks out and his face is still on the ground, like in the street. Yep. And here comes like a garbage truck or whatever. It just runs over it. So it's like, well, that is destroyed now.
He's screwed. Yeah.
So yeah, now he has to find a face for sure.
Yep.
And so she's trying to.
She's gonna come into that.
Yeah, she's like walking toward the kitchen, and he's looking in the fridge trying to find something. There's a cake in there.
Yep.
Why was there just a random cake? I don't know.
He loves cake.
I guess so. I mean, I don't. Like, I would love to have a random cake in my fridge.
Happy divorce cake.
And so, of course, face in the cake.
Yep.
To get buttercream icing all.
Applies perfectly as a mask.
Yes.
You gotta admire that placement.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm like, this does not seem realistic. And then, of course, the iconic line. Hello! As, the lady comes in.
Yep. Scares her.
Yeah. And then he tries to, like, play it off as...
It's a face mask.
As a face mask. And also it can be used as, like, cream for your tea. So... Yeah. Goes into the tea.
That was accidental because the lights were so hot it was melting it.
Yeah.
And it just fell in there, so he was improvising all the tea stuff. Like, oh, there's two for you.
He's like, one drop or two.
Yeah.
Oh, there's another drop.
Yep.
Yeah. So Mrs. Doubtfire's like, okay, I'm gonna go get Danny.
Yeah.
And so leaves, and the lady is like,
she rubs it
on her face. Like, is this good for a face mask?
Tastes it.
But all of the stuff that he's saying is in it is like sugar and like cream and all this stuff. It's like, no, you don't want to put that on your face as a face mask.
Not a great idea.
That is definitely gonna give you some zits.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But then he has to go back to Frank, of course.
Get a new face. Yeah.
And he's like, be careful with this one. She's an old lady, you know. And then he has his first day with the kids as Mrs. Doubtfire. And they do not want to do homework. They want to watch the Dick Van Dyke Show.
Of course.
Because that's what they always do.
Yep, that's kids for you.
It's like, do they always do it? Or are they just like testing?
Could be. Her? Yeah. I could see it being a thing with like Robin Williams and him. Yeah, and them.
Yeah.
Like their thing.
Yeah.
I could see him being a Dick Van Dyke fan.
I get too.
Yeah.
But anyway, he's like, no, you have to do your homework. It's homework time.
Yeah.
And the oldest one or whatever is like, what are you going to do? Punish us?
Yeah, she keeps turning off the TV. And when he turns it up, or turning on the TV when he turns it up. So he throws the remote in the aquarium.
Yep. And gives them manual labor as punishment, basically.
They gotta do the cleaning today.
Yep. And while she sits on the couch drinking tea.
Yep. They're not happy about it.
No. And then, but the two younger ones turn on Lydia.
Yeah.
They're like, this is your fault.
You just shut up.
Exactly. So she's like, well, are you going to do your homework now? And so they agree to it and they go upstairs to do their homework.
Yep.
So it is time to cook dinner because that was one of the things that Miranda wanted. Start dinner is what she said. I think. But
he's apparently not a great cook.
No.
So,
but he's wanting to do this fancy meal.
He's got everything on high.
Oh my gosh.
Everything's boiling over.
Yeah, splattering everywhere.
Yeah.
He goes to grab a pot with no pot holder and just burns himself and drops everything on the floor. It is not going well.
It's real bad.
He
sets his boobs on fire.
First of all, he's like a dash of basil or whatever.
Pours a ton on it.
Yeah, the top of it comes off. And just falls into it. And it's just covered in basil. It's going to be gross. But yeah, he does.
She loved basil.
Yeah, he does end up catching his boobs on fire.
Yep.
Because he's like, wow, this
hollandaise
sauce smells like burnt rubber. No, those are your boobs that are on fire.
Yep.
Has to put himself out.
I guess he had another shirt.
No, if you notice,
she had the burnt shirt.
cardigan
Oh, she has a cardigan.
Mm-hmm. She has the cardigan buttoned all the way up to her neck.
Nice.
Yeah, because I noticed that. Because I was like, okay, I see what you did there.
Nice.
So yeah, ruins the food.
Yeah.
Burns her boobs. And has to order fancy takeout. And then like sets it up on the plates. Like
he made it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I keep going back and forth of whether I say she or he. Because I'm like, I mean, technically the character is a she.
Yeah.
But it's a guy playing it, so.
When Miss Doubtfire's trouble, that's Robin. That's Danny. But when she's doing well, that's Miss Doubtfire.
That's Miss Doubtfire. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So Miranda comes home, sees this beautiful dinner, and is like, "Oh, this is great."
Yep.
And then he has to leave and goes to take the bus again. The bus driver is
still a creep.
Still a creep.
Yeah.
Sees like his stockings are falling down, so he's got like his hairy knee out.
Yeah.
This bus driver's like, "Oh, I like that. Natural." It's like, oh, jeez. So nasty, please. Keep it in your pants, Grandpa.
Yeah, he's weird.
Anyway, so later. Actually, I think there's like a montage or something of like.
Probably. There were a few of those.
Yeah, there were so many montages in this. But then at some point, Stu is at the house when Mrs. Doubtfire comes in. And
not
immediately does not like Stu. But also saw Stu kissing Miranda.
Yeah, like by the car.
Yeah, and flipped him off when he wasn't looking.
Yeah, he didn't see. He also ripped off his Mercedes.
Yes.
Hood ornament.
Yes, right before he came in.
Oh, I found this outside, dear.
Yeah, exactly. And he's like, "Oh my gosh, that's from a Mercedes." And he's like, you know what they say about men with expensive cars and all stuff. And it's like, this overcompensating for something. And it's like, oh gosh.
I missed a lot of this as a child.
There is so much of this part that just, this and like in the restaurant scene later, that went over my head. Like so far over my head when I was 10 years old, of course. And now I watched it and I'm like, oh my God. Okay, that is, wow. All right. Yeah. Very different watching it as an adult.
Yeah. I want to know, like, what his work hours are. Like, how long does he work in that film studio to get there by, like, when does he get there? Like, at 4?
I don't know, because I would assume that, well, he gets there when the kids are coming home getting off the bus.
Right.
So.
It seemed like around that
time. Like 3:30 or 4, I would assume.
So, man, lucky that job's working out so well like that.
Yeah. Anyway, so Miranda talks to Mrs. Doubtfire about after Mr. Doubtfire passed away, how long did you wait until you started getting desires and stuff? And Mrs. Doubtfire's like, never again. Total and lifelong celibacy.
She's like, really?
Miranda's like, oh no, that's terrible.
If you don't do that, heaven help you. Wow.
Oh my goodness. It's so funny. So, Miranda's going out with Stu on a date. Although it's not, she says it's not a date, it's just business. But you know
just
that,
friends.
Yeah, you know that Stu is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He's like, no, it's a date. So while they are out on their date, Mrs. Doubtfire, of course, is going to be there a little bit later. She's helping Lydia with like a spelling test or whatever. And then she's like, I've got to use the bathroom. So goes to use the bathroom. Chris just walks in.
She doesn't.
The door is closed.
Yeah, but still lock the door.
Yeah, lock the door.
What are you doing?
But still, Chris.
Yeah.
If a door is closed, knock or something. Make sure there's nobody in there.
Everybody messed up in this situation.
Yes. So he just walks in.
Yep.
Sees Mrs. Doubtfire peeing, standing up. And is like, oh my gosh, she's a he.
Yep.
I don't want to touch Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah. Like, oh no.
Oh, jeez.
Yikes.
So he has to come in and he has to explain and says, just basically reveals that who he is.
They're kind of happy about it. Like, oh, Dad, yay.
Well, the daughter seems to be a lot happier about it than the son.
Yeah, well, he's still kind of weird.
He's like, my dad is dressed as a woman. This is weird. The daughter's just like, hey. Cool.
Yeah, but man, how traumatic would that be? Like, seriously.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this lady who's been in our house we've trusted is our dad lying to us.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird.
It's awkward, man.
Yeah.
That'd be tough.
So they're like, who helped you do this?
Yeah.
And that's when they say, Uncle Frank and Aunt Jack.
Yeah.
It's like, wow. But he's like, you can't tell Mom or Natty because Mom does not need to know
call
for
the
sure.
cops. Yeah.
And Natty will tell the secret.
Yeah, she'll blow it.
Yep. So they're like, okay, we promise we won't
Apparently in the book, Natty's the one that finds out.
Oh.
And not the older kids.
Okay. Gonna be honest, didn't know there was a book.
There's a book.
Okay.
Yep.
And then of course they're like, he's like, hug me. And the daughter's like, yay, Dad.
Yeah.
And the son's like, no, this is weird. Can't even hug her own dad and drag. Come on.
Yeah.
So, they're sworn to secrecy, basically, because if they tell, he will get in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
So, at work, there is this dinosaur show.
Oh, boy,
that
this dinosaur show.
He happens to, walk in while they're filming it.
Yeah.
It has been on the...
So boring.
It's been on the TV for years and for, decades. He remembers it when he was a kid, because he's like, it used to put me to sleep when I was a kid.
Uh-huh.
This old man does not need to have his own show.
Yeah, he's bad.
Yeah.
And there's a executive looking guy he's talking to.
Yeah, and he's saying all kinds of mean things about this show.
Danny's like, who let this
what
crap
idiot
be on the air for so long?
Yeah, and he's like, me.
Yeah. It's like, oh, nice to meet you. I used to be your employee.
Yeah. He's like, maybe.
Yeah.
So.
But he's making him laugh.
Yeah, and so, but of course his boss comes in. And he's like, get back to work.
Yeah. It's super mean.
Yep. Then at one point he is at the house and he has tea with Miranda. Mm-hmm. And they have this long conversation. Yeah. About Daniel.
Yeah.
So he is talking to her about himself.
Yeah. But he's learning a lot.
Yeah. And because, she tells him, she would go to work. Mm-hmm. And she'd come home and she just want to spend time with her kids. Yeah. And she'd get home and he had done something and she just has to clean up everything. Mm-hmm. Doesn't even get to see your kids really because by the time she's done, it's bedtime and all this stuff.
And so she became angry, working all the time.
Yeah.
She didn't like who she was when she was with him.
Yeah.
And she would cry herself to sleep sometimes.
Yeah.
Danny didn't know that.
Yeah. And you can tell he's like, oh, crap.
I didn't know.
Maybe I was a bad guy.
Yeah, maybe she's not wrong in this.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Yeah.
Kind of sad.
Yep. And then we have the pool scene. Mm-hmm. Where they are invited.
Go to the pool.
To the pool.
Yep.
By Stu.
Yeah. I guess this is a country club?
I guess so. So they all show up. Mrs. Doubtfire is invited also because she's part of the family.
Of course. Yeah. But she's like, I ain't getting... There's enough flesh for you to hide around here without me getting a swimsuit.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So she goes to sit at the bar.
Yeah.
At one point, this woman comes up in a bikini and he's like staring her down and winks at her. And she's like, no. Yeah. It's like, did you forget you're dressed as an old lady?
And he's being a little creepy too.
Oh, yeah. Very creepy.
Yeah.
So, but he's watching Stu basically moving in on his family.
Yeah.
He's not happy about it.
No.
So Stu comes over. He talks to his friend that's at the bar. And Mrs. Doubtfire's kind of hiding behind this big fruit bowl.
Yeah.
Listening in and everything. And he seems like a nice guy.
He does.
The friend is like, oh, you want to settle down? I thought you never wanted kids and everything. And he's like, well, actually, these kids are really nice.
Yeah.
And, I really like them. And I really like her.
Adorable. Because originally he was supposed to be a really bad guy. Where he was like, I'm going to send him to military school and
oh my gosh,
just so I can be with the mom. But they changed it because Pierce Brosnan was nice.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, let's make him a nice guy.
He's not a bad guy.
He actually has good intentions.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But he does say that the dad is a loser. They need a father figure.
But I mean, he's kind of a loser.
Yeah, but come on. Don't
disparage the dad,
Yeah, no need for that.
Yeah. So, of course, as he's walking back.
Yeah.
He grabs a lime and just throws it at the back of his head.
Yep.
He turns around. Then we get the little...
Oh, I saw it all.
It was a run by fruiting.
Yeah. The terrorists went that way.
The terrorists. Oh, man.
Did you not tip the kitchen staff or something?
Yeah, it was someone from the kitchen staff. Did you not tip them? Oh, man. So he continues on, though. Yeah. And then, of course, he's like, loser.
Yeah. And the other guy at the end of the bar hears him.
Yeah, and sees all of this.
Yeah. It's like, what are you looking at?
It's like, okay, clearly this guy's Stu's friend.
He knows Stu.
Is he not going to tell him what happened?
Tell him, yeah.
Anyway.
That bartender, you noticed at the end. You were like, the actor's name is Dr. Toad.
Okay.
Yeah, that's Robin Williams' half-brother.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's not his real name, Dr. Toad, of course. I can't remember what his real name is. I don't know why he's Dr. Toad. But, yeah.
Okay. So then, at the studio, Daniel is there. It's
like at night.
Yeah, it's late at night, or
which is why I guess he wouldn't be there at Miranda's house because she would be back from work. And
I guess so.
His hours are weird.
Yeah, I don't understand it.
I don't know what his hours are. And
it may not be late. It could just be that the studio's dark because all the lights are off.
Yeah, so you'd think they'd be filming something. Guess not.
Maybe they were done for the day.
Maybe.
But he's in there. He starts playing with the dinosaur toys. He's making up songs about them.
Yeah. Go ahead and tell us what those are.
Singing along because I remembered them still.
You remember the Raptor Rap?
The Raptor Rap is the one I remember the most.
And you want to do it right now?
I do not. I'm not going to do it.
I'm a raptor.
Doing what I can. Gonna eat everything till the appearance of man.
Yeah.
Yo, now you see me. I'm living under the soil. I'll be back, but I'm coming as oil.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And the executive loves it.
He does, because he's watching from the wings, basically.
It's like, that was great.
Yeah. So he's like, I want to know your ideas. We're going to have a meeting at Bridges at 7 p.m. on Friday. He's like, perfect. I'll see you there. So then he goes to Miranda's house. She's getting ready for her birthday dinner. She's trying to choose the dress that she wants to wear. She asks Lydia and Natty which one she should wear. She's like, the red one or the black one. And
they ask Miss Doubtfire.
They think that she should wear the black one, but she kind of wants the red one. So they ask Mrs. Doubtfire, of course. Yeah. And Mrs. Doubtfire's like, neither.
Yeah, the red one is like a prostitute.
Yes.
The black one's too short.
Yes.
You show them everything.
Did you wax?
Yeah.
Basically. Just like, oh my gosh, I'll find you something different.
Yeah.
So pulls out something from
like a funeral dress.
From the 70s or whatever. And she's like, no, I'm not going to wear that. So she asked the kids again, and they're like, the black one. She's like, okay, fine, I'll go with the black one.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Mrs. Doubtfire's like, fine, whatever. Why even ask me if you weren't going to take my opinion?
She's a lot sassier than I remember.
Yeah, so Miranda's like, you're coming with us to my birthday dinner, right? Yeah. And she's like, no. It's like,
please.
Yeah, it's Friday at 7.
At Bridges.
And she's like, I've got a bingo game, I can't go.
Yeah.
And she basically wears her down until she agrees to go. Of course, this is the same time as her meeting with Mr. Lundy.
Uh-oh.
So, of course, some shenanigans. Some shenanigans are about to happen. So, he's going to try to do both.
Yep.
It's like, this is a bad idea, bro.
It's a real bad idea.
Such a bad idea. So, it is time for the birthday dinner.
Yeah.
They all show up. There's Mr. Lundy. He's also there.
Yep.
He goes and he's like right in front of them.
First, yeah.
And so they're like, smoking or non-smoking? Like, non-smoking.
Because he went to non-smoking, yeah.
So they're like, when Stu comes up, they're like, smoking or non-smoking? Mrs. Doubtfire, smoking! Because he can't be like right next to Mr. Lundy.
Remember smoking and non-smoking? How crazy was that?
Right?
So weird.
And also like smoking in non-smoking hotel rooms.
Yeah.
And anytime that you were like non-smoking, you'd go in there and it'd be like, it still smells like smoke. What's the point?
It was terrible.
Yeah.
And smoking and non-smoking, there'd be like no divider. So it's just drifting into the non-smoking.
Exactly. It's like the air conditioner turns on, the smoke's just going straight into the non-smoking area.
It was so crazy, man.
It's like just because people aren't actively smoking in that area doesn't mean you're not going to smell smoke.
Every table had an ashtray.
Ugh.
That's so weird. It's so weird to think about now.
Well, I mean, I was that weird kid who used to like...
lick the ashtray, Krista!
No!
Oh my god!
No, like my grandmother smoked. Okay. And I stayed with my grandmother a lot.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
And so we would sit out on she wouldn't smoke in the house. She would smoke outside. So she had ashtrays outside.
Yeah.
And so... for some reason, the thing that I liked to do, because I was a weirdo was I would clean them. I would like scrape the ashes off of the inside of an ashtray with a toothpick. I don't know why. I don't know why. I don't understand it.
That's gross.
It's so gross. But I mean, I would, we would dump it, and then what was left, I would try to scrape out. I don't understand. I don't understand myself.
Real clean. You wanted no trace of that ash.
Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah.
Because I don't clean things.
In general.
So what was I doing?
What was this?
What was this? I don't know.
Ugh.
I don't get it.
Gross.
Anyway, so there you go. There's another gem from my childhood. I was a weirdo.
No.
I also...
What do you mean was?
I was going to say, I also wanted for lunch when I was with my grandmother. I would have egg salad sandwiches with the crust cut off. And I would have plain potato chips with ridges. Had to be the ones with ridges.
Okay.
Every time I was there. That's what I wanted for lunch.
Hey,
It was so funny because my mom, I always liked my grandmother's potato salad.
Wow.
My grandmother's egg salad. That's a weird sandwich, yeah. My grandmother's egg salad. And so she would also, like, when we would have dinners and stuff at church, she would bring egg salad sandwiches. And so I'd be like, ooh, Granny's egg salad. I'd get all excited about it and everything. And then there was this one time, because people knew that I liked my grandmother's egg salad sandwiches. So I went to Vacation Bible School one time. And it was like a nighttime. So we had dinner there.
Yeah.
So it was like usually like hot dogs and stuff. But one time the lady who was my teacher for Vacation Bible School was like, oh, I made your favorite egg salad. And I was like, I can't eat this because this is not my grandmother's egg salad. Because she used I liked dill pickles in it. And she used sweet pickles. And it was so different. I was just like, I'd much rather be eating a hot dog right now, but I'm gonna try to eat this.
This is where it all started.
So
that trauma right there.
Yeah. I can't remember what happened. I don't know if my mom told her or not, but I don't think she brought it again.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Probably for the best.
Yeah. I don't think
She might have saw you go,
because I don't think I would have said anything.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. But I was just like, hey, it was like an avocado. Thanks. Oh gosh.
Gross.
Anyway.
That
had nothing to do with anything, and I'm so sorry.
Just showing you're a weird kid.
Yeah. Who turned into a weird adult.
Yeah. How weird. So yeah, they get seated.
Yes.
Yeah. She immediately leaves.
Yes.
Basically.
The waitress takes her cardigan or whatever, and is also like, "Here, I'll take your bag." She's like, "No."
Yeah.
Because it has my medicine in it.
Yeah.
So she's like, "I have to go. I have to go take my medicine." She's like, "There's water here at the table. You can take it." And she's like, "You can't do it orally."
Yeah. What the heck, man?
What kind of medicine are you taking? Oh gosh. So she goes into the restroom.
She doesn't go to the restroom.
Oh,
she goes to the payphone.
That's right. And goes and calls the front desk or whatever. Not front desk, but the maitre d' or whatever. And says, hey, let Mr. Lundy know that I'm going to be a little bit late.
Yeah.
While all of this is happening, Miranda has to take Natty to the bathroom.
Yeah. Well, when she gets back.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because she asked Miss Doubtfire to take her, but
that's right.
She wanted her mom to take her.
So yeah, she has to take her.
Yeah.
And then she tells the other kids to go look at the dessert table or whatever. They've got like a dessert display and try to pick out what you want. So it's just Stu and Mrs. Doubtfire.
This, I did not remember any of this.
I did not either. This
is
the part that I was like, that went way so far over my head. It was like a plane up in the sky because I did not
so obvious.
Yes.
Innuendo.
Yes.
Not even like innuendo, just blatant
straight up.
Stuff.
Yeah.
It was so much,
I know. It just kept going.
Yeah. It was basically like, oh, this is he gave her like a present, a bracelet. Yeah, he's like, oh, that's expensive. You must be wanting to
pay to get into her pants, basically.
Pretty much, yeah. And every word.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, oh my goodness. Thank goodness I didn't know what was going on.
Right? I'm so glad that when I was a kid, I did not know what was happening. Yeah. I was probably like, oh wow, they're just having like a nice little conversation.
Yeah. She's gonna know him.
Oh gosh, nope.
But apparently they kept that stuff to keep the PG-13. They didn't want it, because he had been like the Home Alone guy, and they wanted it to be a little more adult. So they kept that stuff in there. But it's like, man, that's a little far.
Yeah.
Apparently there's like an R-rated cut.
Oh.
Or there could have been.
Okay. Well, that actually doesn't surprise me, considering that it's Robin Williams.
Yeah, because he was improvising some stuff. So yeah.
That's not surprising.
Yeah.
So I forget. There's so I don't have a lot of notes, but
she goes to the bathroom at that point.
Okay. And changes.
I don't remember why. Yeah, but Miranda and Natalie are coming out.
Yes.
And he almost goes to the men's room.
Yes. And they're like, oh, this is the women's. You're in the wrong room. So
luckily, it's a locking door.
Yes. Goes in, locks it, changes, leaves his bag in there, and then goes to meet with Mr. Lundy. Mr. Lundy has already had one drink.
Yeah, a double scotch.
Yes. And says, okay, you've got to catch up with me, basically. And they sit there and they have a drink.
Yeah. He has like at least 3 double scotches.
Yeah. And then he's like, I gotta go.
Yeah.
So goes and changes again, gets back, because they're looking for him to, they're like, where's Mrs. Doubtfire? We're waiting for her to order.
Yeah.
So goes back with the family.
Yeah.
And then they start doing their order. And he like orders some kind of salmon or whatever.
Yeah.
And
Stu orders
the jambalaya.
Jambalaya, no spice.
No pepper. He's allergic to pepper.
Yeah.
And so they're like, okay.
But Robin's like, oh.
Well, he's drinking his wine.
Chardonnay.
Or whatever. Teeth fall in there.
Yeah.
He's drunk. He's way drunk at this point.
Apparently this was a surprise to everyone. No one knew what was going to happen.
Okay.
So everybody laughing and everything, that was real reactions. The kids are all like real
Stu is helping him get his teeth out of there. He's talking like those are his dentures and everything.
Make a pincher there.
Oh my gosh. And finally they get him out. And he's like, I've got to go put my teeth back in. I've got to put them in adhesive and everything.
Shake him off like a dog.
Oh my gosh, right in Stu's face too. Oh my gosh. So funny.
Yeah.
So goes back to the bathroom, changes again, puts it's before this. It's when he goes to change the first time, he puts a bunch of perfume on.
A lot of perfume on. Yeah.
So then he goes...
way too much.
Right. Then he goes back to Mr. Lundy. Mr. Lundy's like, you smell just like perfume.
He's like, yeah.
And also, you have lipstick on your...
He's like, yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, yeah, one of the waitresses is an ex, and she caught me on the way to the bathroom.
Couldn't keep her hands off me.
So he's like, oh, does she have a friend? And all this stuff.
He's like, I'll go see.
Yep, so he leaves.
So weird.
Yep. Goes back to change. Comes back. Oh, no, actually, before he comes back, he goes into the kitchen. And, I don't know when. Oh,
I think that was the last time he changed to the Danny,
Yeah, I forget. There's so many.
Yeah. There's a lot of changes.
Yeah.
But yeah, he goes in the kitchen.
He goes to the kitchen, puts cayenne pepper on the jambalaya, because of course they have like their table numbers right next to the food.
But it's like, dude, don't mess with allergies, bro. That's dangerous.
So dangerous.
What are you doing?
You could kill someone. Please don't do this. So then he heads back to the table. But he goes to Mr. Lundy's table.
Yep.
And Mr. Lundy's like, who is this old lady?
Yeah.
And then he realizes, like, because he starts talking in his normal voice. And he's like,
Danny,
what are you doing? And he's like, oh, this is the new host of your TV show, Mrs. Doubtfire. And he's always talking in Mrs. Doubtfire voice and everything.
Yeah.
Mr. Lundy's like, okay, interesting. Meanwhile, the food has been delivered to the other table.
Yeah. And they're going to go ahead and eat so it doesn't get cold.
Yeah, because it's like, we don't know where the heck Mrs. Doubtfire is. Just go ahead and eat. So Stu starts eating, pops that shrimp in his mouth. It is covered with cayenne pepper. Yeah. How did he not know? I don't know. Anyway, he starts choking. They're like freaking out. He's choking.
Yeah. And Miss Doubtfire comes running over, vaulting over bars.
Exactly. And starts doing the Heimlich. And
eventually they get it out.
Yeah, because he eventually just like, they fall backwards. And the impact of hitting the ground makes that shrimp fly out of his mouth.
Yeah.
And, of course, in the process, half of his face has fallen off.
Yep, he's in trouble.
And so,
And he's like, oh boy.
They're, what is he doing
He's
here?
caught.
Yeah. Miranda freaks
The whole time.
out. The whole time. Yeah. Yeah, she freaks out. She's like, I have to go now.
Yep.
We have to go. We have to get out of here.
She is having a breakdown.
Yep. And so she just grabs Natty and the kids and they head out. And Stu's just like,
thanks, man.
I don't know what just happened, but
See ya.
thanks for saving my life.
It's like, sorry about that.
Yep. And so they all leave. Then we are back in court.
Yep.
He has basically lost everything now at this point.
He's representing himself now because he hated his lawyer.
They give her full custody and he...
Well, he's like, before then though, he gives his side.
Yes.
He gets to say something and he gets a speech about how he loves his kids. He's addicted to his kids.
Yeah, and also he talks about, he's like, you asked me to get a job and to get an apartment and I did that. And then, he starts talking about...
I made dumb decisions, but I just love my kids so much.
I can't be separated from them. I can't be without them.
And the judge is the worst judge ever. Like, I understand his concern about stuff. And maybe get him counseling and stuff like that. That's a good idea.
He probably needs it.
Yeah. Maybe put in a restraining order from the mom. Fine. You want to do that? I can understand that.
Yeah.
But, like, he's like, I don't believe you.
Because you're an actor.
You're such a good actor. You would say that. I'm like, that is such a weird...
That's a weird take
ruling. Yeah. Like, that's dumb. I don't see that happening.
And you can clearly see that he's, like, distressed, basically, when he's hearing all this.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. And so...
But, he's got to have supervised visitations now.
Yes. And he has to go to a counselor.
Yeah. And all this stuff. And they'll reconvene in a year.
Yep.
Try again.
Yeah, and Miranda is kind of like, she kind of looks like, I feel bad about it. This isn't really what I wanted, kind of. But she doesn't say anything.
Yeah. And you know what? He really, like, I'm glad we got the movie out of this, but 3 months to get your house, get a job. Have the Saturday visits, and then you can have the split custody. What are you doing? Yeah. Dressing up as Miss Doubtfire. Yeah. And going into their home and lying and all this stuff, like, and trying to kill her boyfriend.
Yeah.
Like,
all you had to do was wait.
It's 3 months. Days. Like, I know it sucks, but come on, man. Yeah. Like, you got to think long term here.
At least you do have, he did have unsupervised visitation with his children on Saturdays.
Yeah. The Saturdays.
Sure. It was one day a week.
Yeah.
For 3 months.
Yeah. But you got to use that time to get better for them. Exactly. Like, become a better parent.
Because he had everything else done.
Yes.
He had the job. He had the apartment. He made the apartment. Dumb. He made the apartment look really nice and everything.
Yep. He learned to cook.
Exactly.
He did everything.
Exactly. But he just couldn't.
Yeah. It's that short-sighted. Yeah. I guess he was an addict, like you said.
Yeah.
He wasn't lying.
But man, he had it. He had it made.
He did.
He just hadn't done the Mrs. Doubtfire thing.
Yeah.
Man.
Anyway,
so bad news for him.
Yeah.
And then we do see that Miranda seems to be spending more time with the kids now. Now they don't have a housekeeper.
Yeah.
Because they're trying to interview people. It's not going well.
Yeah. She's trying to work while taking care of the kids.
And they're talking about how they miss Mrs. Doubtfire and everything. And Miranda's like, oh my gosh, she's not real. We've got to stop talking about her like this, even though she was doing it too.
Yeah.
But then they hear Mrs. Doubtfire on the television. Mrs. Doubtfire is hosting the new kids show. And there's like a puppet and everything.
Was this before or after their interviewing of other housekeepers?
I can't remember.
Because, at one point she did interview some other housekeepers.
It was like only one.
One was awful.
Oh, yeah.
But they had marked off a bunch of them.
Yeah.
So.
Because, like, this woman is like, I don't do this, I don't do this, I don't do this. And everything is like, what do you do? Yeah. That's, like, literally what I said. I was like, lady, what do you do?
Yeah, seriously. I'm a warm body in the house,
stand here,
I guess.
Exactly. It's like, you sit on the couch.
Yeah. Don't change diapers. Like, whose diaper are you changing?
Exactly. It's like, the youngest one is 5. Yeah. She does not wear a diaper. She hasn't worn a diaper in years.
Yeah.
But, she's like, I don't do basements, I don't do cooking, I don't do whatever else. I don't do laundry, I don't do this. It's
terrible.
Like seriously, what do you do?
Yeah.
Why are you
doing this? Trying for this job?
Right. I mean, shoot your shot, I guess, but no. Oh man. So Mrs. Doubtfire has her own TV show now.
Yeah.
And
I didn't really like that puppet. This may be a hot take, but I didn't think that puppet was very funny. I didn't think he was that interesting.
Okay.
He ain't no Muppet.
No. So Miranda goes to the studio to see him, to talk to him. And of course they end up fighting a little bit even then.
Yeah.
It's like they just can't
come on, man.
stop it.
What do you want?
But I forget what they talk about there, but...
Yeah. I mean, they started fighting and then... I don't know.
She's like, we've got to stop doing this.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think she was like, it's not, the kids need Miss Doubtfire. You know,
yeah.
They need her. They need her dad. They need their dad and stuff.
Yeah.
They need Miss Doubtfire's dad. So, yeah. But then they kind of leave it off. Mm-hmm. And then...
So the kids are at home. Mm-hmm. Miranda's like, it's time to meet your new babysitter. And they're all kind of like sad about it and everything.
They were watching Miss Doubtfire's show, right?
I guess so.
Because it was on TV.
And then they go to the door.
Oh, and in the TV show, she got a letter and the postman came in.
Yes.
And it's Mr. Sprinkles?
Something like that.
Something like that.
It's the old
guy from the dinosaur show.
Yeah, from the old dinosaur show.
Yeah.
So he's still got a job.
Yeah.
He calls her something that's not Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yeah, it's like Miss Doubtflyer. He's got a Miss Doubtflyer for her. He's delivering a flyer.
Oh man.
Time to meet the new nanny.
Yes. The new babysitters, which she calls it. But opens the door. The kids are they're not excited about it. They're like, oh great. But it's Daniel. He's
Danny.
there.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, of course Natty's like, Daddy.
Yeah.
So
they worked it out with Cora.
They worked it out. They worked out all the legal stuff. He gets to keep him after school every day.
Yep.
And everything is good.
Everything's good, yeah.
Doesn't have to be supervised or anything. Mm-hmm. So he gets to see his kids.
Yep.
He gets to be Mrs. Doubtfire at work. Mm-hmm. Do Miranda and Stu get together? I don't know.
Probably. Miranda goes into the room where the TV's still playing, and Miss Doubtfire's reading a letter from a kid.
Yes.
And the kid's like, my mom and dad got divorced and live in different spots. Is it my fault?
Yeah.
And she's like, no, it's not your fault sometimes.
Well, isn't my fault. It was her brother says that they're not a family anymore. That's what it is.
Yeah.
But Mrs. Doubtfire does end up saying, it's not your fault if your parents get divorced.
Yeah. Sometimes they just don't love each other, but they still love you.
Yeah, and sometimes they get back together, and sometimes they don't. Yeah. And if they don't, it's not because it's your fault or anything.
It's just...
And they still love you.
Sometimes they're just better off, apart. Separate. Yep. Yeah. Which was good. It's a good little message for divorced families, Mm-hmm. It's tough, especially for the kids. Yep. So, yeah. That's pretty much it.
That's where it ends. He rides off into the sunset with his kids in the car.
Oh, no, never mind. That was earlier. When he moved out.
Oh, yeah.
And a stupid suitcase was in that open window back hatch. I was like, close that window.
That thing's going to fall out.
So mad.
Yep.
No wonder she divorced you.
Oh, goodness.
I haven't seen this probably since I was in high school, I would guess. I mean, I might have watched some of it here and there on TV, maybe, if it was on, but I don't remember.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we had it on VHS, which is why I remembered a lot of the lines, because I used to watch it a lot.
Yeah.
It was one of those, like we said, it came out the same year as Jurassic Park.
Yeah, so you just
this was
rotated.
Probably heavy rotation as well. Probably not as much as Jurassic Park. I was really into Jurassic Park. I had the soundtrack to Jurassic Park that I would listen to all the time because I was a nerd. Still am. Yeah.
They both had dinosaurs in them. It was a big year for dinosaurs.
It was a big year for dinosaurs, exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, I enjoyed it again. Yeah. Even with all the troubling parts in it. It's pretty easy to look past those, I feel like.
Yeah.
So.
Plus, it's always good to watch Robin Williams do his thing.
Yeah. Apparently he had just tons of energy.
Oh my gosh.
Wore everybody out. He did a lot of takes because he wanted to try like so many different things.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah. You know who they thought about for this role? Tim Allen.
Ugh.
Oh, that would not have been as good.
No.
But luckily, he decided not to, and he did the Santa Claus.
So he did get to wear a fat suit eventually.
He did. They even thought about making this like a movie of Home Improvement where they had gotten divorced, and so Tim Allen was working his way back in.
Like Tim Taylor?
Yeah.
Tim the Toolman Taylor?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. And the sad thing is I would have watched it.
I would have too. I loved Home Improvement.
Because I loved Home Improvement also, and I had a huge crush on Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Yeah.
So I would have watched it.
So, yeah. I'm glad it worked out the way it did, though.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get to our snack.
I also had a crush on Wilson,
Your
the
dog?
neighbor.
Oh. Wilson, you did not. Okay.
No.
Okay. I was about to say. You saw half his face.
I was going to say, why do you think I named my dog Wilson? Because I had such a crush on Wilson. No, I did not.
Come on.
You literally couldn't even see him, No, I had a crush on Al, though.
Well, I don't think so, Krista. I had a crush on Heidi.
That makes sense.
Both Heidis.
But not Jill.
Listen, no. She was like the mom.
Yeah.
She was a mom.
She was a mom.
Yeah. And there's a kid named Mark on there.
Yes,
She's basically my mom.
She was your mom.
Yeah. He was the same age as me, too. Anyway, let's get to our snack.
I was a Randy fan. Sorry.
Oh, you're a Randy fan, all right.
Okay, sorry.
That was a Brad chat.
Brad chat? Oh, I hated Brad.
Wow.
He was the worst.
Okay, let's get to our snack.
Let's get to the snack. Oh my gosh. What are we doing?
All right.
We have Dr. Pepper Peeps.
Wow.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Sorry, I ruined the surprise.
As I was saying, this coming Sunday is Easter. So, what better Easter candy than Peeps? What better Peeps
The
than
Dr. Pepper Peeps.
Of course, neither of us really like Peeps.
But we do both like Dr. Pepper.
We do. So will this save Peeps?
Or will this ruin Dr. Pepper? No,
We'll
I'm not
see.
optimistic at all. I found this at the grocery store a few days, about a month ago.
That can't be right.
Say a week. I meant to say
Approximately a year.
about a week ago. And I texted you. I was like, Dr. Pepper Peeps, do we want to do this?
Yeah.
And you said yes.
Yeah.
And so I said, okay, it's your funeral. So I got them. And then I showed you. And I was like, oh, there are 10 of them.
So, too many. Too
Why?
many. We do not need that many. Those
We
are going to
need
be thrown away.
2.
Yeah.
I'm
We need one.
Pretty sure we are not going to eat more than that.
Yeah.
Unless it surprises me.
Maybe it'll be great.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I used to like Peeps when I was a kid.
I've never really liked Peeps. I love marshmallows, which is
I love
weird.
marshmallows, and I love like candy crystals.
Yeah.
Or,
I don't know how
sugar
they
crystals.
ruin this.
I don't know. Okay, I will say the reason I don't like Peeps is because of the coloring.
Uh-huh.
Because they taste like food coloring.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
and
like,
I think they're just
the yellow
too
one,
sweet for me.
The yellow one's not that bad because I guess yellow food dye doesn't taste quite as bad.
Yeah.
But like those pink ones, ugh, disgusting.
Yeah.
Which I don't like pink anyway, obviously.
Yeah.
But it's so much like red dye in there, or pink dye or whatever, that is just gross. It just tastes like it.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's open these up and try them. And
I'm sure this weirdly red, sickly red color, brownish, won't have weird food coloring taste.
they're not pretty, that's for sure, but they are Dr. Pepper flavored, so we'll see.
Yeah. All right.
They're 27 calories per chick.
Okay. 100 grams of sugar per chick.
Why do they do this? They're 27 calories per chick, but 110 calories per serving, because one serving is 2.5. Why? Who's going to eat 2.5 of these at once? That's so weird. Oh, look, you get a tray and I get a tray.
Oh, good.
There are your 5.
Thank you.
And now I get my 5. Do they smell?
They smell like Dr. Pepper.
Oh, they smell like Dr. Pepper. Oh,
They really do.
that actually smells good.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh, come on, please.
almost don't want to eat them.
I just want to smell
so
them,
good.
yeah. They actually smell really good. I'm going to be
That's so sad. They smell so good.
I know, they smell so good.
I love Dr. Pepper jelly beans. Those are great.
I used to have a Dr. Pepper lip balm.
Oh, yeah?
I didn't eat it because that's weird, but you would put it on. It was like you had just had Dr. Pepper. Your lips tasted like Dr. Pepper.
Oh, you should get more of that.
Oh, boy.
You know what I'll say?
Okay, go ahead.
It tastes like I just took a drink of Dr. Pepper. And the aftertaste is still in my mouth.
I was going to say.
I sucked in the vapors of it after you just open it. Mm-hmm. What are you going to say?
I was going to say I taste nothing at all.
Really? Oh, no, you got the COVID.
Again.
You don't taste it? Wow.
Maybe like really lightly, but they don't taste as bad as regular Peeps.
They don't. They're not bad.
I could probably...
I taste a lot more Dr. Pepper in those.
I might be able to eat all these.
Yeah.
Because they don't taste like regular Peeps.
Wow.
It's like they have a lighter flavor or something.
Is your nose stopped up or something?
Maybe. I mean, there's a lot of pollen outside, so
yeah.
I did have to take a Claritin.
Maybe there's the aroma is adding to it. Because I feel like it's really strong. Or maybe this Peep just got doused in it.
Maybe I should try a second one just in case.
Oh no.
Why do I like this?
Well, it's Dr. Pepper. Does Dr. Pepper save anything or everything? Maybe. Is Dr. Pepper magic?
Maybe.
I'm kind of surprised.
I'm very surprised. I
kind of don't want any more.
I'm going to tell you, when I said Dr. Pepper Peeps and you said, yeah, sure, let's go for it, I was like, this is going to be a 1. This is going to be a 1.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's going to be a 1.
Yeah, it's not going to be a 1. It's still too much sugar for me.
It is a lot of sugar.
It is a lot. I feel like I would get sick if I ate more of those.
I do not want 2.5 right now.
Yeah.
That's for sure. I don't want a full serving of Dr. Pepper Peeps.
But
it is really fun to say
surprised.
Dr. Pepper Peeps, too.
Yeah.
Those P's just...
That does work.
Those plosives just...
yeah.
It's great.
It's not bad.
Dr. Pepper Peeps. It's so fun. So many P's.
I'm going to give these. One of these looks like it has a teardrop tattoo.
Nice. Oh my gosh, it does.
He's killed somebody.
He's been to prison.
Yeah. I'm going to give it... I mean, I don't have anything bad to say about it. But it's still... I'm never going to pick this over like anything else.
Oh, yeah.
Not even Dr. Pepper Jelly Beans.
Yeah.
I love those way more than this. They're kind of reminiscent of Dr. Belly Jelly Peppers.
Are we high? What is happening?
we are so stoned on Peeps.
It's the sugar rush that's getting to us.
I do like Dr. Belly Jelly Peppers. Dr. Belly Jelly Peppers. So I'm still probably only going to go like 5.5.
Okay.
Because I don't want a lot of them. But the surprise has really... It's really been surprising. So I give it the 0.5 point for the surprise.
Okay. I was actually going to go lower than you.
Okay.
Because I was going to go with how much I have left, which is 4.5.
Okay. There you go. Okay. Wow. Shocking.
I mean, but considering that I thought it was going to be a 1.
Yeah.
That's a big improvement. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Big difference.
All right.
Huge.
Well, if you like Dr. Pepper, I'd say go get some of these. Try them out.
Give them a try.
Especially if you like Peeps.
Yeah.
If you don't, then be surprised with us. All right, well, what's up? What other Dr. Pepper flavored things are out there? Because I kind of want to try all Dr. Pepper flavored snacks now.
Yeah.
Let us know on Twitter at HavingFuncast or on Facebook at HavingFunPod.
Or you can send an email to us at havingfunpod@gmail.com.
Go have fun and we'll see you next week. Goodbye.
Bye.